travailleurs qui étaient limogés par une compagnie qui a fait faillite. Ils n'ont plus de pension, ils n'ont plus de sécurité, ils ont peur. And I've seen that fear, that anxiety about pension security in the eyes not of 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds, but 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds. How do we make sure we take the fear out of Canadian life? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you how. We build ground under every Canadian feet. You know what that ground is called? It's called the Canada Pension Plan. And then we have to make sure, because the belt is tight. Am I right? The belt is tight. It's tough out there. One of the things that makes people most angry about Stephen Harper is he keeps telling you happy talk about how great the economy is. Right? And it doesn't ring true to you, does it? It's tough out there. I have to do these things. I have to invest in learning and care. I have to make sure I get the deficit down. And I cannot raise your taxes. I cannot raise your taxes because it's too tight, it's too tough out there. We've got to get this deficit under control. So here's what we're going to do. Remember what I said about those oil companies? They're doing just fine. Oil prices are up above $110 a barrel. They don't need a president right now. They don't need a break right now. At 18%, and I can get every single young Canadian a learning passport. I can make sure that everybody can take compassionate leave off on EI. I can make sure we can get early learning and childcare for every Canadian family. And I do not have to raise taxes on Canadian families. The numbers add up. That's what I'm saying to you. The numbers add up. You can go out to the door and you can talk to Canadians with confidence. The numbers add up. This is serious politics, except no substitutes. This is serious politics. The numbers add up. And what does it all come back to? What is the single value that we are serving in everything we do? It's that idea of equality. Equality of rights. Equality of responsibility. Every Canadian wants to shoulder the responsibility of being a good citizen. Look after the loved ones close to them. They don't want to slough off responsibility, but they need a little help. They want to have a feeling that they live in a society where they're not alone. Equality of rights, equality of responsibility, equality of opportunity. Why do I care so much about education? Everything that happened good to me in my life happened for two reasons. One, I was born in Canada and I got a college education. Equality of hope. We do not have equality of hope in this country. There are Aboriginal Canadians who do not finish high school. There are immigrants who come here lit up by the promise of Canada and struggle in difficult jobs. They can't get the language training education to succeed. There are so many Canadians withheld from the full promise of hope. And we are in politics to bring hope to the Canadian people. To get to the equality of hope in which it doesn't matter where you grew up, whether it's rural, whether it's northern, whether it's remote, whether it's downtown, uptown, anywhere you go. We fought for 60 years to make sure that your access to health care doesn't depend on what's in your wallet. We've got to be absolutely sure that access to health care does not depend on your postal code. In this society. We've got to put some things beyond price. Susanna, my wonderful wife, where are you, Susanna? I was at dinner in a Toronto hotel 3 mornings ago. One of the great things about politics is people come up and talk to you. A little guy called Matthew comes up to me, age 11, stands stock straight, and he says, "Are you who I think you are?" And I said, "Yeah, I am who you think I am." And Matthew then proceeds to tell me a story. I said, what are you doing here, Matthew? He said, I'm here for a medical issue. I said, what medical issue? He has been in Sick Kids Hospital for 8 weeks getting a liver transplant.
Wow.
He was about 3 hours from dying. His mother, this is a true story, began to pray. After prayer, they found a liver transplant for that child. This is the point of this story. We don't put a price on Matthew. Matthew gets better because this is Canada. We will do price on these things. That matters ultimately to us. It matters ultimately to Canadians. They must be able to count on us to defend the things that have no price, that have ultimate value. The life of Matthew, the access of every Canadian to health care when they need it, free at the point of service. That's part of the Liberal creed. Jean Chrétien was there for the creation of it. I am here to make sure it is always Le moment décisif de cette campagne électorale est venu. Nous sommes arrivés au moment où il faut choisir. Il faut trancher. Le 2 mai, ce n'est pas un choix de parti d'opposition. Monsieur Duceppe ne peut pas former un gouvernement. Monsieur Layton n'a pas l'expérience de former un gouvernement. Il ne va pas former un gouvernement. Le choix, c'est entre des années de plus de gaspillage de M. Harper ou bien un bon gouvernement libéral. Ça, c'est le choix qui est fait.